And welcome to episode 35 of Prog Review. I've been looking at the suggestions you guys have been making on my channel page, and here I am valiantly attempting to work through some of that epic list. Thanks for your suggestions. Keep on doing it. When the new channel page design comes in, I don't think we'll be able to make suggestions like that. So, make your suggestions and I'll write them down and work through the list. Anyway, I shall begin. This album, sometimes known as Focus 2 or Moving Waves, depending on which way the wind blows. It's the second album from the Dutch progressive rock band Focus. It opens with the now famous, or is it infamous, Hocus Pocus, the song that made yodeling fashionable. So much so that in 1971 yodeling was actually banned in the United Kingdom after a number of children caused themselves irreparable damage trying to copy the song. The affliction, known as yodeler's throat, has been consigned to the history books, the same way as smallpox has been and Derbyshire's camel toe. But you've been warned. Don't try this at home, kids. But I digress. Hocus Pocus is just good fun. It is an archetypal pop song, as far removed from prog as, say, the recent Jaksic, Collins and Fripp album. Oh, controversial. It is a novelty song, but that's not to cast any slander upon it. It's one of those gateway prog songs that tempts kiddies in, and next to no time they're hooked on Magma's Mechanic Destructive Commando. Oh, the humanity of it all. Up next is Le Clochard, or, if you speak the English lingo, The Tramp, and it's an ode to your dad. Of course, I jest. It's a gentle little number that sees acoustic guitar work being accompanied by mellotron, and it has vague echoes of Steve Hackett's work. Overall, it's a nice, undemanding little track. Yeah, no criticism. This is followed by Janice, which is another mellow number. The band have hit this mellow groove, and that's what you get with this record. This time it's the flute leading the proceedings, and it's accompanied by some, again, suitably restrained guitar and some rather tight drumming in the background. In fact, I really enjoyed the drumming. Again, I hear a bit of Genesis in this, and it's all rather pleasant. It's not offensive in any way. Moving Waves is next, and it features a tumbling piano and a vocal part. Yeah, there's actual words, there's a song, an actual real proper song on this record. And for a title track, it's a bit weak really, it's a bit of a throwaway, and it's let down by some really clunky lyrics. Now I'm not sure if it's because English isn't Focus's native tongue, or whether they just haven't got the grip on lyric writing, but for me it doesn't really work. I'm not a fan. Now, the big song. It took up half an album, a whole side of an album. It doesn't really count in these days because we've forgotten about vinyl platters of crackly goodness. We are wandering into deep prog with this track. I'm talking about Eruption, and this is where the band actually show their prog credentials, because before this point they're just a rock band with some pastoral leanings. But this is a slab of prog, and it weighs in, because we know it's prog because it weighs in at 23 minutes 4 seconds in length. Never mind the quality, feel the length. Ooh, misses. But yeah, it sees the band adapting Jacopo Peri's opera Eurydice, and it tells the story of ill-fated lovers, Orpheus, god of the underworld, and his love, Eurydice. Yeah, get a bit of culture. I give you culture here, boys. Culture. You don't need to go to the opera. You can just put on a Focus album. Anyway, Eruption, for that is its name. Yeah. It's not a comment on my love-making technique. It's actually the name of the track. Opens with an arrangement that wouldn't be amiss on an Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. The song is divvied up, would you believe it, into 16, count them, subsections, and we're transported from proto-jazz to plaintive vocals to rock guitar solos into manic keyboards and guitar workouts and into blues rock. It really covers the whole gamut of rock. They throw everything in bar the kitchen sink, and I admire the tenacity of the band and their efforts. With this track, there's a lot going on, but unfortunately, despite there being a lot going on, there's not a lot that's actually that memorable. It's not that hooky. I don't find it that hooky. Yeah, I mean, these guys are great players, and I really do like the flute work. When everything is scaled down and they go back to the quiet stuff, I think that's the corner, that's the zone that they're in. That's where they get me. But the overriding memory of this track is they sound like an ELP tribute band mixed in with the worst parts of the Nice. Ooh, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who probably disagree. Now, on my version of the album, which I downloaded off of eMusic a few years back, the album is actually rounded off by Focus 2. I think on the actual proper album it came before Eruption. And again, it's another gentle piece of mellow keyboards and guitar, and again, it's pleasant and it's not going to frighten the horses. It's very easy listening. Now, to be blunt, and you know me, I'm blunt, this music really wasn't recorded for these old ears, these old lugholes, because in places it's just too bland and it lacks any kind of scope to be described as prog. I mean, all they've done is really done 23 minutes, and that's why they're called prog. Now, I know it sounds really harsh and unfair, but despite them being, there are incredible musicians, they're really good at what they do, but you don't really feel like they're stretching themselves, except for that bloody novelty song that opens the album. That's where you really get the feeling the band are pushing forward and trying to do something a bit, different, forward-looking and progressive. Of course, I mean, there's going to be people out there that disagree with me, and that's fine. There's going to be people that agree with me, that's fine too. Of course, leave your comments, constructive comments, mind, not these silly little two-word insults to me, because that doesn't help anyone. You're just going to get deleted. But if you have constructive criticism or thoughts on this album, leave them in the comments box. Let's get a dialogue going, eh? That's what this whole social media thing is about. But yeah, in terms of a rating, I'm going to give this a middle of the road 2.5 yodels out of 5. That's a safe 2.5 yodels out of 5, and it's not really an album I'm going to be going back to, but, and again, this is a good thing, it's one of those gateway prog albums that you can give to your girlfriend to try and get her hooked to the genre. So that's my thoughts on Focus's Moving Waves album. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, unsubscribe, whatever you need to do to show that you love me, please. It's 2012, let's march forward. Even though the Christmas tree's still up, it's 12th night tonight, whenever, early hours of the morning, so it's this evening. That's when the tree, last time to see the tree, so say farewell to Christmas. My name's been Darren Locke, and I've been babbling on as usual, and you've got to prog on.